Welcome back, guys, to another video brought to you by your one and only literary pharaoh. I had the pleasure and the opportunity to watch Coach Prime's post-game conference, the interview. And he does a stellar job at just controlling media. He controls the room, and that's a sign of a powerful person. Some people don't take a liking to it because they expect, especially being a melanated man, a man of color, usually people of a racist ilk, they love to have you play your part because they have this self-aggrandizing component in their brain that gives them a high degree of entitlement, self-entitlement. They feel like they're entitled to tell you what to do. They feel like they're entitled to make you impotent or strip away your power or take away your level of empowerment. Coach Prime is very empowered, and he just is. He has a certain degree of confidence that may rub people the wrong way. And I don't have a problem with that. I feel if you are going to be in the public spotlight, I think it's only right that you control the rooms that you're in. You cannot allow media to control you. You cannot allow, media pundits and the mainstream conglomerate to come together to forge narratives. You have to be the one to control it. Now, they may still take what you do and twist what you say, but let it happen on your own terms. In other words, I'd rather you come into a room full of reporters like Coach Prime does and control the room and have them still write their own damn stories versus sitting there trying to be complicit and compliant and go with what they want. Because either way, you're screwed. Because they have to make stories. They have to sell stories. They have to get clicks. So in order to do that, they have to kind of create drama where drama doesn't exist. So I think what Coach Prime is doing is very good because he comes in there and controls the room. There were several things that jumped out to me in his post-game conference that tells me that this man is in a good space right now. Success is not always guaranteed. And I'm going to start off with that because we all know that if you followed Coach Prime, or if you've done a little bit of research and looked back at his at his career in coaching, he's always been successful wherever he's gone. That's the fact. Now, a lot of people have a problem with his practices, the way he did things. Of course, you're not always going to make everybody happy. You have people that are making videos online talking about how he took advantage of young men, screwed people out of scholarships and stuff like that. I'm sure there are two sides to every story. I don't know the full story about those allegations. But what I do know is his record, is what he accomplishes wherever he goes. We know that he was a winner as an athlete, high school athlete, collegiate athlete, professional athlete, playing two sports, baseball and football. We understand that he has a yellow jacket. He is in the Hall of Fame in the NFL. And we know for a fact that when he coached high school, he was successful. When he coached college in the HBCUs at Jackson State, he was successful. He comes to Colorado, and it seems like that trend is going to continue. But when I started off by saying that success is not always guaranteed, that's what I mean. It's not always guaranteed, meaning that just because you have been successful in other places that you've been, in other ventures, does not necessarily mean that your new position is going to automatically just bring forth success. That's not how it works. You have to put in a degree of work, and the pressure does mount. Pressure increases. And you could sometimes rest on your laurels thinking that, hey, I've been successful everywhere I've been. This is just another bump in the road. I'll be successful. But you don't want to have that kind of mentality because it strips away the urgency that you need to have in order to push forward to have success where you are currently at. With Coach Prime, in the beginning stages of him coming to Colorado, it was bumpy. At first, there was a lot of excitement. but I think that people were either spoiled, and not. I wasn't spoiled because I understand. I clearly understood that when you come to a program, you're not gonna hit the ground running and just dominate the way you want to dominate, because it takes time, especially if you're trying to build a program. Okay, a program takes time. It takes 3 to 5 years on average. That's what the data says, and that's what the statistics say. It says any program, be it a school program, a college program, a job whatever program, it doesn't matter what field that it's in. It takes 3 to 5 years for a program to, to have everything clicking and everything just running itself. And this is Prime's second year, and we see the upward trajectory in the way the team is playing. It's not even about the wins; it's how they're winning. That's impressive. They're playing better defensively. They're playing more competent football. I could actually watch the game, and I can't predict what they're going to do. Usually in the past, I would watch the game. I would just know, okay, who's he going to pass it to now? Who's he going to drop back and pass it to now? Or is he going to get sacked? Because we all knew as viewers, and you guys could admit this too. You don't have to fake this. You guys knew that they were passing the ball way too much. But some of you guys that are Coach Prime apologists, you guys didn't want to speak out against that. You just wanted to just sit still and say, well, he knows what he's doing. Well, yeah, you can know what you're doing, but sometimes your ambition and your drive to success or drive for success could sometimes get in the way of logical thinking. The things that you would take a logical approach to contend with or to counter, you end up removing that means of thinking. You end up just saying, oh, I'm going to just go with my emotions here, and my son's great. I'm going to spread the ball around, make sure he wins the Heisman. And that Heisman is something that, to me, I believe Coach Prime worries about it more than Shedeur. I agree. If you watch the interview, the press conference, the post game conference, he talks about Shedeur, and he says that Shedeur doesn't care about the Heisman. Yeah, I know Shedeur doesn't care about it. You care about it, Coach Prime, because you keep talking about it. I've never heard Shedeur get on a podium with mics in his face, and he's talking about how he should be considered for the Heisman. Of course, no player would ever do that, but he's definitely not doing that. But his father talks about it much more. So what you tend to talk about the most seems to be something that's attached to your heart. It's tattooed on your heart. It's on your heartstrings, and you only put forth what's in your heart. Now, he dresses it up as if it's no big deal, that the reason why his son is not in the talks of the Heisman is because Shedeur is his son. So he's taking that approach of they're denying my son's access to the Heisman talks because he's my son. That's pretty much the gist of Coach Prime's narrative with that. But I don't believe that is. I believe maybe he will, because the season is nowhere close to being over. He may be in the talks of it, but it's hard to be in the talks of it when you have Travis Hunter, who's a Heisman candidate. It's hard to have two players on the same team Heisman candidate, because Travis Hunter's success sort of takes away from Shedeur's success, if that makes any sense. The ability of Travis Hunter playing both sides of the ball and making an impact offensively and defensively, helping out the team on the offensive side, which means that he's helping out Shedeur because he's the receiver that's catching the passes from Shedeur. And then when Shedeur is not on the field, Travis is back on the field making an impact defensively. So you can see why most of the voters are looking at Travis Hunter as more of the Heisman candidate than Shedeur. Not to say that Shedeur is not good. It's just on the team, it seems like Travis Hunter's impact is felt more because of his ability to play both sides of the ball. Yeah, you can score points, but then you have a player that can score the points, catch the ball, but also defend, and get interceptions. So the ability of Travis having the capacity to impact both sides of the ball is something that puts him over the edge over Shedeur, in my opinion. So as I was watching the press conference, Coach Prime, he said that, again, let me go back to the success thing is not always guaranteed. And And I believe that's what happened with Coach Prime. He's a human. He thought I'm gonna come to Colorado and I'm gonna win. And I believe he thought he would win early. I really do. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that you should take a job, especially as a coach, and just wave the white flag your first year as, oh, this doesn't matter, just my first year, we're going to just keep losing. No. If you're taking over a program that's been poor in terms of their win to loss ratio, I don't think that you should come in there with a glass is half empty mentality. You should look at what you have and say, okay, we're going to work and push forward to be better. And our record may not reflect it, but our practices will reflect it. Our record may not reflect it, but the way we go about our business will reflect it. Our discipline, our training, our commitment to excellence, the attention to detail, the attention to film watching. I mean, you almost have to act as if you are in the NFL if you're a college football player, because football, if it has to be the number one thing of your life. So much more than your academics. I would argue and say your football career has to take precedence over your academics. It just has to. If you want to be great, you can't juggle the two and put two on the same pedestal. One has to take a back seat. And if you want to be excellent and excel in the athletic realm, something has to be sacrificed. And usually it's going to be your academics. Now, kudos to the players who can do both. But still, even when you're doing both, you're performing great at both. But your energy and time is put forth more in the athletic realm, especially if you're great and you have the potential to go pro. Now, the players who know they're not going to go anywhere, who are just there on the team, I get it. You know, you may want to put football and your academics on the same level. But if you're playing for a great program, that's the worst of it. You can never put your academics over football in a great program. There's no kid, there's no athlete, young student athlete that's playing in Georgia or Alabama or Ohio State that's putting their academics over their athletics. It's not. You can't survive. The rigor and the demand of what you need to do and accomplish in football is way too high for you to put academics first. You don't even have a choice. The athletic aspect of it would overwhelm the academic. Maybe after you've exhausted your years of eligibility, maybe then you can, strive to put academics as the most important thing. But when you're a college athlete, academics go second, and at worst, you may be able to put them on the same level. So I think that Prime, he wanted to win early, and he thought he could win early, and he saw that, it's not so, and that's okay. And I was one of the ones that said, hey, his first year was a learning curve, and then even his second year, I still look at Coach Prime as a red shirt, first year coach. And again, you guys may say, yeah, Coach Prime said something very interesting. He said they asked him a question. They asked him. They said, I think one of the reporters, I could barely hear what they said, but they mentioned something to the effect of bowl games. And you should see the way Coach Prime answered the question. It's almost as if like he's insulted that they believe that making it to a bowl game is an accomplishment. But he didn't do it outright flagrantly or in an explicit way. He didn't do it that way, but you can tell that he's very choice with his words. He told the reporter, he said, "Oh yeah, but that's just a hurdle." Yeah, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he did mention the word hurdle. And when I heard that word hurdle, Coach Prime is thinking bigger picture. You guys are talking about bowl games. Well, the bowl game is nothing but a hurdle. Now, I want you guys to understand something about hurdles. If you've ran track, if you've watched track and field, you understand that when a person's running, a hurdle is something you have to go over. A hurdle is an obstacle that's in your way because you have to jump over that obstacle in order to get to your destination or in order to get to your goal. So that means that bowl game is not Coach Prime's goal. And if you understand the mindset of Coach Prime, it's he's so eager to dominate that I think that sometimes his ambition gets in the way, and he gets overly excited. Just like when he was like, "Do y'all believe now? Do y'all believe now?" Because he doesn't want his players or his program being attacked, because that's a reflection on him. And yes, he will cancel certain people. Yes, he will not give certain organizations his time in terms of doing a report or sitting down with him to do an interview with him. He won't give you that time because he doesn't respect that. The hurdle is an obstacle. The hurdle is not the goal. So when he answered the question to the reporter, when the reporter asked the question about, being bowl eligible, Coach Prime is like, "Yeah, okay, that's great. Come on, man, let's go." That's just a hurdle. Because if Colorado gets to a bowl game, plays a bowl game, dominates the bowl game, and wins, that's how you build a program, by winning. Winning is your best advertisement. Winning is your best recruitment tool. Players are not going to want to come to a program that consistently loses. Coach Prime knows what he's talking about. He's using his brain. He's saying that's a hurdle to get to the goal, but we still have to overcome that hurdle. We have to go over the hurdle. So yes, getting to a bowl game and being bowl eligible is great. I'm not marginalizing it. I'm not diminishing its value. However, there's a certain way we have to play, and we have to send messages every time we play. Now, currently on this win streak, Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes are sending a message that we're becoming more competent every game. And it's scary because they're still not, I still don't even think we've seen the best of that team yet. I don't think they've played their best game. They're winning pretty much based on will and talent and some scheme. But I told you guys, winning is infectious. It sort of creates a snowball effect where it becomes an addictive emotion that you try to get all the time, because you're like, hey, hold on here, this feels good winning. You don't want to go back to losing. They know what it feels like to lose. And yes, they got a lot of new players, but I believe that there was not one player in college football that did not follow Colorado. We all felt the pain of them losing out 7 of their last 8 games. We felt that pain. Even if you were not on the team last year and you came through the transfer portal and this is your first year playing with Prime, you felt the pain of their losses. And now that you're there, you don't want to go through that. And if you were there for those losses, you definitely don't want to go through that again. So that's why sometimes losing early, especially when you're trying to build a program and solidify that program as a contender year in and year out, you're going to have to swallow the hard pill of losing. It's a necessary ingredient for you to get to the greatness that you're endeavoring to get to. You get there and you start winning too easily, you may not find the value in excellence and dominance because it came too easy. It was given to you. It was placed in your hand. To struggle and go through those hard times is very, very appropriate. It's much needed. We don't like it, but it's something that we have to do. So when Coach Prime talks about the hurdle, he wants to look a certain way. You heard him say that in the press conference. He said, we didn't land the plane well. We won, but I didn't like the way it ended. They won, and he still is not satisfied. But he has to be very careful because he wants the young men on his football team to be happy, but he doesn't want to beat them up, because sometimes you can be too critical of a coach where the successes of your team become so marginalized and so devalued that the players start to think to themselves like, man, we're winning, but it doesn't feel like we're winning. I feel like we're being talked to as if we lost. So we have to make sure that we put things in their proper perspectives and look at the W as a W and say, hey, you won. that's what you came to do, and that's what they did. And he said that in the press conference. He said, nevertheless, we won the game. I just didn't like the way it ended because he didn't want the game to be that close. That's a man that has his sights on dominating college football. And a lot of people were thinking and thought that he could not do it in Colorado. Why not in Colorado? Who says that he can't do it in Colorado? Who says that he has to go to an SEC school? Who says that he has to go to Florida? Who says he has to go to Florida State, his alma mater? Who says that he has to go back to where he started? He doesn't have to go there. I think that trailblazers, people who are great in their own right, they go to places where it's not popular and they push back against the status quo and they pave their own path. I don't think he has to get on the path of SEC and say, well, let me join an SEC school. No. I believe that it'll continue to win with the kind of program that he's running out there in Boulder. I believe that more players from high school will come. And like I told you guys earlier, his best recruiting tool is winning. As long as they keep winning and they keep dominating games, people are going to want to go there. Young athletes are attracted to Coach Prime. They are. Now, if they're losing, that attraction goes down. But people want to be around a winner. People want to be around a person that speaks their language, that speaks on their level, that understands their struggle and what they went through. People want to be with a man that's a father. A lot of these young men that are coming out of college, they don't have a father figure. So a lot of them are looking up to Coach Prime in that regard. They're like, hey, I will go here. I want to be coached hard. I like the NFL pedigree there. I like the NFL feel, NFL minds that are there. You know, the coaching staff of Coach Prime, especially the coaches that he chooses, they're top notch. So you have guys who have done it in the NFL, you know, coming back to give back to the college arena. They're coming back to feed these young men with the knowledge that they have from their past playing days, and to make sure that they equip these young men to be better players for Colorado and potentially go to the NFL if their play warrants that. So I think that Coach Prime, he sees exactly what he wants, and he wants to look a certain way, because he's a big proponent of, if you look good, you feel good, and if you feel good, you play good, and if you play good, they pay good. That's his motto. You got to look good. You got to win. You got to look good, because if you look good winning, then you feel good about the win. And then when you feel good about the win, you want to come back next week and play better. And then when you continue to play better, they pay good. UIL. I said UIL. NIL. Sorry. NIL. NIL. Money. More fans. Revenue is increased. Pay increases. You get more opportunities to get scouted by NFL scouts, because you're winning games and more people are coming to your university to watch y'all play. And even players who don't get playing time are getting looked at because the team is so dominant. So that's what Coach Prime is trying to build there in Colorado. But he understands the whole nature of a being, the whole nature of an athlete is much more than just a football player. He wants these young men to be good young men and to make wise decisions, because making wise decisions off the football field leads to you making wise decisions on the football field. They go hand in hand. So I like the messages that are being said out of Coach Prime's mouth, and I also like the messages that are being sent from the football team. The fact that they're winning games. That to me speaks louder than anything that you can say behind a mic. When you win games in a fashion that's competent, that's very good. All right, so leave a comment, guys. Tell me what you guys think of this recent Colorado win streak. And I think that this is just a sign of what's to come. I think it's going to get better. I think they're going to get better recruits. I think that I haven't been keeping up with Liquidator's channel. I know he usually is posting things about, you know, what certain high school players or certain people that are trying to come to Colorado. I haven't been able to keep up with his channel lately. I've been very busy. But I do know that people are coming. And when Coach Prime said I'm not hard to find, he means that. When he says I'm not hard to find, it's easy to locate people who are successful, because everybody endeavors to be successful. So he's already speaking those things into existence. He's saying that, look, I'm not hard to find, because I'm going to come here and dominate and win games in an exciting way that's going to be attractive to young athletes, 5-star, 4-star recruits to come to my university, to come to Boulder. And we're going to pave paths and start something new here. And yes, I believe that Colorado, over time, if Coach Prime continues on this upward trajectory, I believe that they can become that, national championship contender year in and year out, like the Ohio States, like the Georgias, like the Alabamas. I believe that they can, like the Oregons. Teams that are noticeably always good every year. I believe that they can do that. He doesn't have to leave Colorado. Why leave there? There's nothing wrong with the Big 12. So, tell me what you guys think about the recent success of Colorado and Coach Prime. And do you see them winning out? I don't know what their schedule looks like, but I feel on paper. Oh, another thing that I wanted to say that I forgot to mention. One of the reporters talked about something about rankings. And Coach Prime was like, no, don't even mention anything about rank. I don't want to be ranked. You know what that means to Coach Prime when he says that? It doesn't mean that he doesn't, because being ranked is just is you being ranked. It's a symptom of your success. And so if you're successful and you're winning games, you're going to eventually be ranked. So he's not saying I don't want to be ranked because he wants to be a loser. That's not what he means by that. You got to look a little bit deeper and contextualize what he's saying. What he's essentially saying is that don't rank us. Just watch us play. In other words, he's implying that there's certain football teams that are ranked that don't need to be ranked. He knows his team could be ranked in the top 25, maybe on the outside of the top 25, but he's like, don't even rank us. And he said this in the press conference. We just want to stay in the back. We don't want all that attention. Now, he wants the attention. He just doesn't want the attention of rankings because he understands that can be a debilitating toxin. Okay, that could be a handicapping agent that kills the drive to excellence. Because he understands the launching point of his team right now. He understands that they're about to take off. The last thing Coach Prime needs is them to be ranked and then they rest on their laurels and like, oh, look at us, we're good. No, don't read your press clippings. You're not good. Last year we lost 7 out of our last 8 games. We're not there yet. 6-2 is not. No, it's not about the record either. It's about dominating. And he thinks he knows his team. He has a read on the temperature of the locker room, and he has a read on the temperature of his football team. He understands they've been working so hard. And being ranked would be something that would be appropriate for them to receive and say, hey, we're ranked. They're recognizing us. We're a good team. Coach Prime doesn't want them to believe that they're a good team. He wants them to think that they are an upcoming team, because I've yet to see Coach Prime on the microphone impressed. Even when they win, he talks about the win. He puts the amount of energy into the win. He talks about the good things that are happening. He talks about Mazza's kicking game, the special teams, the defense, the running game. He talks great about his team. He's not beating up his team. But you can tell he's not overall satisfied because he still hasn't seen that dominant game that he's looking for. And it's not just about having that one dominant game. It's about dominating teams week after week after week, to the point where you dominate teams so much, you become a dominating program. That's where he's trying to get to. So don't rank us. We don't deserve to be ranked, because I don't see the dominance that I want to see yet. When I see the dominance that I want to see, then you can rank us. That's what Coach Prime is implying by that. Him saying don't rank us doesn't mean he wants to be a losing team, not to be ranked. He doesn't mind. Of course, if they ranked Colorado in the top 25, he doesn't mind, but deep down he doesn't want that. That's not his aim. His aim is not bowl games, and his aim is not to be ranked. His aim is to dominate. Dominance is the cause, and the effect and the symptoms out of that dominating agent is being ranked, is being put in the top 25, is contending for championships and bowl games. That's just an inevitable subsequent occurrence that happens when you dominate. Stop trying to reach for rankings and reach for bowl games. How about you just dominate your week? How about you dominate your practice? How about you dominate film study? How about you dominate the man that's in front of you? Every little thing, one day at a time, one step at a time, just dominate little by little by little. When you become a dominating person that conquers everything that's in front of them, and when a team collectively becomes a dominant team, then you can rank us. Now you can rank us. I don't see us being dominant yet, so don't rank us. We just want to stay in the back. We still want that hunger, because it's hard to be hungry when you're fed. When you're full, it kills the endeavor to seek food. Right now, he wants his team hungry. Keep us off radar. Keep us in the dark. Don't talk about us. Don't even put us up. I know what my team is capable of, but I don't need you guys to rank them right now. They're not ready for that. I want them hungry. Do not kill the hunger of my football team. That's essentially what Coach Prime is getting to. So yeah, don't rank us. And he didn't mean that facetiously, or he wasn't getting at the reporters or getting at media. I don't think he does. I just think he wants to have a successful season. And as the team, as the weeks roll by, he wants to see an improvement and a slow, steady, incremental jump from game to game of signs that are showing dominance, signs of dominance, little by little. It's not going to come overnight because it has to happen organically. And anything that happens organically has to happen sort of slow. It has to happen slow because the slower it happens, the more authentic that it is. Okay? So that's what he's wanting. And he hasn't seen that yet. So don't rank us. Rank us when I feel like we're deserving to be ranked, not because we're 6-2. Okay? So leave a comment, guys. Tell me what you guys think about Colorado and how far you think they can go. And let me know what you guys think. Again, I'm leaving off. And to always remember that your health is your wealth. Peace.